Navion trunnion bearings. These units support the weight of the airplane by means of a steel shaft that goes through the bearing and through the landing gear itself. They're what hold the landing gear to the airplane. Here's where they go in the airplane. At the top of the screen, you can see the forward trunnion bearing for the left main landing gear and the aft trunnion bearing for the left main gear, if we can get it to focus properly. There it is. And then inboard, you have the trunnion bearings which support the retract mechanism. These units are identical to the outboard units other than having a felt inside that is saturated with motor oil to keep the unit lubricated. These trunnion bearings are loaded very differently than the outboard ones in that these carry a torsional load and the outboard ones simply support the gear and carry the weight of the airplane. Lubrication is very important in the outboard and inboard trunnion bearings.
If you look closely, you can see a groove inside of the ball, and every one of the balls actually have that. But the ones that support the landing gear itself on the trunnions are empty because they don't move. The ones that support the retract mechanism, the torque shaft for the retract links, have this piece of felt inside that groove, which is inside the ball, and it is to be kept saturated with oil before assembly, and that will lubricate the system and keep things moving properly.
Here's an example of one that was really loose. You can see it moving up and down. I don't see any grooves cut in it. This is one that was run holding the main gear and is loose due to stretching from repeated landings.
Here you can see the two sides of the trunnion bearings. On the left, you see the flush rivets, and on the right, you see the shop head. It's very important to have the installation done so that the flush rivets are against the bulkhead for a good fit. Here you can see that this bearing has been packed with grease in the groove. I have dug a lot of that out, but it's been the experience, and here's one that's clean. It has been my experience that if you put grease in on the retract trunnions, which are inboard, they don't lubricate the shaft very well, and you should use the felt as an oil reservoir by saturating the felt completely with oil before you put it together, and then putting the felt in, of course, and assembling the whole unit. The standard bolt hole size for installation of trunnion bearings in the Navion is 5/16, as you can see on the right. Occasionally you will see one that is drilled oversized for a 3/8 bolt for installation. If you have 3/8 openings in your bulkhead, you will need 3/8 holes in your trunnion. These trunnion bearings have been disassembled and cleaned. Then the outer shells have been resized to fit the ball correctly and reassembled in a tight fit. Prior to reassembly, the shells are heat treated to proper hardness, and then new rivets are used to hold everything together. Well, there they are. Getting them in and out of the airplane is another issue, and for another video at another time.